All right, this right here is the Jasion Thunder e-bike, and if the box is any indicator, this thing is made for adults. So I'm very excited to give this a try. And yes, I'm gonna ride it in these snowy conditions. This is a high-power fat tire e-bike that can hit over 30 miles per hour, climb hills, and still cost under 900 bucks. So today we're gonna unbox it, assemble it, ride it hard, and see if the Thunder actually lives up to its name. There are a few boxes that came with the bike, so let's see what's inside. This little box has our headlight. This other box has our toolkit. We also have the pedals, and I believe this will be our power adapter. Looks like this battery charger is using a standard barrel jack for charging, and we are outputting 54.6 volts at 2 amps, so 110 watts. Looks like a physical manual is not included, so you have to download one online. And these are all of the tools and little parts that are included in this bag. But honestly, it looks like this bike will be super easy to put together, so I don't think I even need the manual. Jason ships the Thunder about 85% assembled, so you may need a friend to help you get it out of the box, but the rest is very simple. Lots of little cool packaging material to protect the bike in shipping. I like that. I probably spent more time removing the packing materials than I did putting it together. Right away, this thing feels solid. Thick frame, nice welds, and obviously those massive 26 by 4 inch fat tires. Assembly of the bike is pretty straightforward. I started by installing the handlebars. After removing the shipping spacer, it's a simple 3-bolt job and you are done. The front wheel also has a shipping spacer that keeps the fork from bending or distorting during shipping. Once removed, the wheel can be installed, and after aligning everything properly, it can be bolted in place. Perfect. The rest of the assembly is very simple. First, I bolted on the front fender. Then the rear rack can go on. I really like that all the screws are pre-installed, so you don't have to guess which screw is supposed to go where. It just kind of fits. Very nice. 4 bolts and it's solid on the bike. I then inserted the seat and locked it in place. All that's left now is to install the rear light assembly that acts as the brake light as well as the turn indicators, and finish the job by installing the front headlight. It took me about 30 to 40 minutes to assemble the entire bike, taking my time. If you've done an e-bike before, this is nothing crazy. Alright, and here it is, fully assembled. The Thunder has a very aggressive look for a step-through design. You've got a removable 48-volt battery, which means you can take it inside to charge or remove it completely when storing the bike. It also has hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, so stopping isn't a problem. The Shimano 7-speed drivetrain allows you to choose your style of riding, and of course when you get tired you can simply use the twist throttle to keep going. I am very excited, so I'm just gonna take in a quick ride. All right. Okay, this is fun. Let's quickly talk specs, because this is where the Thunder gets interesting. You're getting an 1800 watt peak rear hub motor paired with a 48 volt 18 amp hour battery, which works out to about 864 watt hours. That's impressive, and that's what allows for the performance this bike has. However, that also means it will take 7 to 8 hours to charge from 0 to 100. It's pretty good in the snow too. But when you're not in the snow, Jason claims a top speed of 30 miles per hour and a range of up to 80 miles, both depending on the weight of the rider as well as how much you pedal. Payload capacity is around 400 pounds, so you can put 2 of me on this bike with no problem, which is also very impressive. But the bike itself weighs about 82 pounds, so yeah, it's not light and not very easy to get in and out of the car if your car is big enough. Controls are simple and intuitive. You've got a control display showing speed, battery level, PAS level, and trip data. The PAS level basically sets your top speed. For example, PAS level 1 is max 16 miles per hour, and PAS level 5 is top speed of 30 miles per hour. One thing I really like about this bike is the safety features. And one of those features is the integrated lights and the turn signals, as you can see right here. That's still not super common at this price point, and it's actually useful if you're riding around cars and want to be safe. I also really like the rear cargo rack that's included, which makes this more practical for commuting or running errands. You can also get different accessories for this bike, such as a rear basket or even attach a bottle holder just right here on the frame. All right, let's ride. Acceleration is no joke on this bike. On throttle alone, this thing pulls hard, especially from a stop. And yes, you can accelerate with the throttle from the stop. Hitting the top speed doesn't take long either. And yes, it will get close to 30 miles per hour, which is something to keep in mind for local e-bike laws. But if you are on a trail with no speed limits, it can be really fun. And of course, you can set your top speed limit to be under the law's requirements. Of course, your speed and acceleration will depend on your weight as well. On pavement, it feels planted, but you definitely feel the weight if you're used to a thin tire bike. This is not a nimble bike, it's more of a small electric tank that inspires confidence at speed. Can almost do a burnout. Woo! Where the Thunder really shines is mixed terrain or snow terrain like this. Those fat tires soak up bumps and the front suspension helps smooth things out. That said, there is no rear suspension, so on rough trails, you're gonna feel it. A suspension seat would be a really solid upgrade on this bike. As you can imagine, the braking performance is solid. The hydraulic discs on the front and back stop this heavy bike confidently, even at speed, and you never feel like you're out of control. Now, about that 80-mile range claim, well, that's best case scenario, and I assume that includes you pedaling as well. Realistically, if you're riding fast, using throttle, and climbing hills, expect something around 50 miles, which is still very respectable for a bike this powerful. That means you can use this bike as a normal bicycle to go on a trail for as long as you can, let's say 20 to 30 miles, and then simply use the twist throttle to go back home on the battery alone. I love doing that because you can exercise for as long as you can and you don't have to plan your way to get home. You don't want to be too tired pedaling back, but this way you can just use electric power to get home. Pretty cool. So let's break it down by pros and cons. You are getting a lot of power for the money and a huge battery with fat tires and solid brakes. It also has great features like lights, signals, and the rear rack. And it's very easy to ride even for newer riders. The controls are so simple to use. I bet anybody can do that. So it covers all the basics. As far as the cons, the biggest negative I can see here is that it's heavy. That means those newer riders may not be able to take this bike with them everywhere, as it can be hard to load. I also wish it had rear suspension or at least included a suspension seat to help with those rough roads. But luckily, those fat tires help with the comfort a lot. You also have to be careful about the top speed and check your local laws to make sure you don't get in trouble. Luckily, it does not try to look like a moped or a motorcycle, so it won't be drawing too much attention. So who is this for? The Jasion Thunder makes sense if you want maximum performance on a budget. You don't mind the weight and you're riding on roads, gravel, or light trails. If you're looking for a lightweight commuter or something easy to carry upstairs, well, this is not that bike. Overall, the Thunder delivers on what it promises: power, presence, and capability, especially for the price. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more reviews like this or a lot more car content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.